This is the weekly roundup on EAC News Channel, your look back at the past week in the Kingdom of Wonder. A very good evening, I'm Darshana Gauchan. The King of Cambodia, His Majesty King Norodom Sihamoni, is urging married couples to establish a tradition of planting trees in parks organized by the Capital Provincial and Forestry Administration. EAC News reporter Decca Nin has more details.
On the morning of Saturday, 9th of July, King Norodom Sihamoni gave a royal speech on the benefits of forests for humanity and the disadvantages that people face when they lose more trees. He said, "The loss of all kinds of forests can lead to floods, greater winds, risk of lightning strikes, and droughts, which have made water reserves needed for humans and animals to dry up, leading to a loss of income, loss of wildlife, and fish resources of all kinds, which can cause desertification and deterioration of soil quality." The king also called on monks, local authorities, the private sector, and citizens across the country to plant as many trees as possible, including palm trees in pagodas, public places and resorts, roads, around canals, villages, and fields to provide shade for people and animals. He added that trees will also provide wood for construction, firewood, help to increase soil fertility, and create better land for agriculture, block wind force, absorb carbon dioxide, and reduce climate change. He said, "We should especially pay attention together to creating a new idea for newlyweds to plant a tree as a souvenir in a wedding garden. A forest formed in this way by the Capital Provincial Forestry Administration for everyone in towns, districts, municipalities, communes, sangkats, villages." The King of Cambodia said he would like to dedicate this Plant Day ceremony to be in the heart of the nation and become a tradition of unity, planting all kinds of trees together, preserving, protecting, and developing precious forest wildlife resources to last forever. He stressed that planting trees is a green investment in nature that provides many benefits for all of humans, animals, and the planet as a whole. Dekanin, EAC News.
After 4 weeks of interactive dialogues, panel discussions, and the adoption of 23 resolutions on thematic and country-specific issues, the United Nations Human Rights Council concluded its 50th session on Friday, 8th July. According to a press release issued by the Permanent Mission of the Kingdom of Cambodia to the United Nations Office and other international organizations at Geneva, the Cambodian Permanent Mission, represented by Ambassador and Permanent Representative Sakun An, delivered a total of 22 statements featuring normative and practical progress and accomplishments of the Kingdom in diverse categories of human rights and including the 3 joint statements of ASEAN. One of the main points of progress presented was Cambodia's Blossom strategy, used for the national COVID-19 vaccination campaign, to provide vaccines for free in a non-discriminatory fashion, including for inmates and foreign residents, resulting in more than 94% of the total population being inoculated. Other main highlights included the expansion of social protection coverage since the launch of the National Social Protection Policy Framework in 2016, Cambodia's development of digital education and top ranking in Southeast Asia in terms of lowest mobile data cost, the successful integration of gender perspectives into national policies and the increased number of female civil servants rising to nearly 50%, the outstanding efforts to combat child labor with more than 100 campaigns held in 2021 with the participation of nearly 3,000 people, Cambodia's support to scale up actions for climate change mitigation, the exercise of freedom of expression, association, and peaceful assembly within the bounds of the law, and Cambodia's participation in the renewed call by many delegations for the OHCHRC to work in a fair and depoliticized manner. The Cambodian Permanent Mission also co-sponsored 10 joint statements during the 50th session of the HRC on topics such as promoting multilateralism, family and work balance, technical assistance, climate change, nexus of technology to good governance, women's rights, and more. Prime Minister Hun Sen has requested the Ministry of Education, Youth and Sports to extend the 2023 first-term vacation until 19th May so that students can also participate and help celebrate the 32nd SEA Games that Cambodia will be hosting. EAC News reporter Anthony Ellis has more.
Speaking at a meeting at the ASEAN Para Sports Federation and the CGAF Council meeting on Monday morning, Prime Minister Hun Sen said that the 64 years Cambodia has failed to seize the opportunity to host a regional sports event. So as the host of the SEA Games in 2023, Cambodia has the ambition to welcome guests warmly so that they can have the best experience while in Cambodia. Therefore, the Prime Minister requested the Olympic Committee of Cambodia to be well prepared for this event. while stressing what the media and people must also participate to promoting the national image through actions such as keeping the environment clean, respecting traffic laws and showing friendliness to guests. While the SEA Games will be held on the 5th of May 2023, the Prime Minister has requested the Ministry of Education to extend the first term vacation for students until the 29th of May so that students can also have time to volunteer and help out with several sports events and celebrations. The spokesman of the Ministry of Education, Youth and Sports, Ruth Sovachar, told EAC News that the ministry is examining the possibility and will provide more information later. According to the official countdown that the SEA Games and the ASEAN Para Games, only 297 days are left until the Cambodia will host the Games in Phnom Penh in 2023. Anthony Ellis, EAC News.
Prime Minister Hun Sen has reaffirmed his continued support to the sustainability of the Voice of the Blind Association in Phnom Penh. The Prime Minister made this affirmation during his unannounced visit to the association on Monday morning. After opening the meeting of the ASEAN Para Sports Federation and the CGF Council meeting this morning at Soka Hotel in Phnom Penh, Prime Minister Hun Sen had a face-to-face meeting with 10 members of the Voice of the Blind Association, which has its office located directly in front of the hotel. While meeting with them, he inquired about the operation and sustainability of the association, especially around the opening of the Office of Massage Services for the Blind, in addition to some work related to the association's radio and television channels. The representatives of the 10 members, Mr. Saim Samnang, told the Prime Minister that in addition to the work the association already does, they learned about massage techniques and rented this office in Phnom Penh to add to what the Prime Minister and First Lady had provided them in the past, including salaries and rice. During the visit, Prime Minister Hun Sen provided 10 million real, about $2,500, and $1,000 additional dollars to the association. The president of the Voice of the Blind Association, Mr. Saim Samnang, told EAC News that he was very excited that the Prime Minister had come to inspect the work of the association. He added that his association had just moved to Phnom Penh for 2 months to set up its headquarters after Battambang. According to Mr. Saim Samnang, his association was established in 2010 and received the support of Prime Minister Hun Sen since 2013, ensuring the sustainability of the association to the present day. The Voice of the Blind Association is located in 4 provinces and the capital city, which includes Phnom Penh, Battambang, Kampong Cham, Banti Minche, and Pursat. Prime Minister Hun Sen has paid his last respects to former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe and wrote a message of condolence at the Embassy of Japan in Cambodia, following Shinzo Abe's death by assassination on Friday. The Prime Minister went to the Japanese embassy to pay his respects around 3 p.m. on Monday. In his written condolences addressed to the people of Japan, Prime Minister Hun Sen said, "On behalf of the royal government, the people of Cambodia, and myself, I would like to express my deepest condolences to the government and people of Japan and the family of the deceased. The death of His Excellency Shinzo Abe, the former Prime Minister of Japan, on 8th July 2022 is a great loss and indescribable pain. His Excellency Shinzo Abe's death is not only the loss of a Japanese patriotic hero who led the growth and enhancement of Japan's role on the international and regional stage, but also the loss of a truly good friend of the Cambodian people and myself, who contributed to the development of Cambodia-Japan bilateral relations until the strategic partnership was achieved in 2013, as well as the promotion of development assistance in Cambodia. The kind and sincere gestures of His Excellency Shinzo Abe will always be etched in the hearts of the Cambodian people as well as me forever. In this sad situation, I pray that His Excellency Shinzo Abe's soul will be safe and sound. I would like to say goodbye to Your Excellency for the last time," he concluded. Former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe was a good friend of Prime Minister Hun Sen's in politics, foreign affairs, and personal affairs. In 2017, Shinzo Abe gave a surprise birthday celebration to Prime Minister Hun Sen. Remembering this friendship, the Cambodian Prime Minister decided to declare a national day of mourning on Sunday, 10th July, where all flags were flown at half-mast nationwide. All karaoke bars and clubs across the country were also closed for the day, while restaurants and beer gardens were banned from selling alcohol. The Ministry of Water Resources and Meteorology has issued an additional notification regarding the changing weather situation in Cambodia, saying that between 11th and 14th July, the coastal areas in Cambodia will have continuous rain, which may result in some areas of Sinakville and Kokong to experience flooding. EAC News reporter Anthony Ellis has the details.
In a statement issued on Monday, the Ministry of Water Resources and Meteorology said that the situation was caused by the effects of prolonged ITZ low pressure from Thailand, linked in an active low pressure, so the South China Sea and the southwest monsoon over the coast and southern parts of Cambodia. While floods warnings in Kokong and Siheak Naval provinces, the Minister of Water Resources also confirmed there will be heavy rain, strong winds and high waves in the sea surface. The ministry has said please keep the public informed and take extra precaution to avoid any possible accidents. In late June, Priya Sihanouk Province Governor Koik Chomaron instructed the Provincial Department of Water Resources and Meteorology to restore the canal system into Siheak Naval to avoid flooding. According to the Department of Water Resources, more than 10,000 cubic metres of soil has been removed and the canal system in the province. Siheak Naval was hit by severe flooding in 2021, which inundated the province and killed one person. Anthony Ellis, EAC News.
Sri Lanka's President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has informed Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe that he will resign. The Prime Minister's office said on Monday, after tens of thousands of protesters stormed the official residences of both men.
After Saturday's sweeping protests in the wake of the liberating economic crisis, the Speaker of Parliament said Rajapaksa would resign on Wednesday. However, there has been no direct word from Rajapaksa on his plans. Wickremesinghe has said that he would also step down and allow all-party interim government to take over. Leaders of the protest movement have said crowds would keep occupying the residence of the President and the Prime Minister in Colombo until they finally quit office. Colombo, Sri Lanka's largest city, was calm on Monday as hundreds of people strolled into the President's secretariat and residence and toured the colonial-era buildings. Police made no attempt to stop anyone. "I'm so exhausted I can barely speak," said the 28-year-old as he sat on the plastic chair outside the President's office. "I come alone all this way because I believe we need to see this through. This government needs to go home and we need better leaders." Ordinary Sri Lankans have mainly blamed Rajapaksa for the collapse of the tourism-dependent economy, which is hardened badly by the COVID-19 pandemic and the ban of chemical fertilisers that was later reversed. Government finances were crippled by mounting debt and the lavish tax breaks given by the Rajapaksa regime. Foreign exchange reserves were quickly depleted as oil prices rose. The country barely has any dollars left to import fuel, which has been severely rationed, and the long lines have formed in front of shops selling cooking gas. Headline inflation to the country of the 22 million hit 54.6% last month, and the central bank was warned it could rise up to 70% in the coming months.
A motorcade carrying the body of former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe arrived at his home in the Japanese capital on Saturday, 9th July, as police in the western city of Nara, where he was assassinated, said there had been security flaws.
Tributes poured in from the world.